Hey everybody, I'm Invisiblekatana, and today I'll be doing a live reaction of the Star Wars Rogue One trailer, or I guess it's Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Now that's what it says on the actual title here. I did watch this trailer already because this is actually my second time doing the video. It just didn't come out as well as I wanted it to, so I'm not going to lie to you guys like this is the first time I've seen it. But I haven't watched it a million times yet, so there's still stuff that I didn't notice for sure. So I'm going to basically say everything I said before, but I will have some extra stuff. From things I noticed. Like, I only watched it I've seen it twice now technically, so this will be my third time going through it, so I might see even more extra stuff, but I will make sure I say everything that I said before, because it's not that long of a trailer and I just did it, so I'm not going to forget what I said. But I'm excited to watch it again because it is a pretty cool trailer, and plus this is coming a week after the Star Wars Rebels Season 2 finale, so great timing where we got to watch that. You know, we had a week to kind of experience that and figure out what the heck's going to happen for Season 3. If you haven't started watching Rebels, you should, because it's amazing. If you haven't seen Clone Wars as well, you should. It's also amazing. All of that is on Netflix as well. You have to find, I don't know how you find Rebels now. You just have to find it. But I'm excited to get into this again and notice some extra stuff that I hadn't noticed before. So I'll put you guys over here. As you can see, I'm in my kitchen, so the audio might be a little bit weird because for whatever reason you can hear every car ever that'll pass outside. But hopefully the trailer will be loud enough to combat that. So here we go.
State your name for the record.
Jen Asa.
Forgery of Imperial documents. Possession of stolen property, aggravated assault, resisting arrest.
I love the fact that it's real life crimes, which is weird to me in Star Wars.
This is a rebellion, isn't it?
Also, that actress looks exactly like the one from the originals.
I rebel.
To me, like, she looks exactly like her. I was so stupid when I first watched it. I was like, man, if that's not the same actress, who would be like 80 years old, which makes no sense whatsoever. But that's how similar they look. I'm like, wow, is that the same actress? Like, that doesn't even make sense. But that's what was happening.
Yes, sir.
And so that part I knew already because they said what the story was. They're getting plans. This guy, I have some stuff about that guy. Like, I'm excited to see what happens with him. Donnie Yen is awesome.
If you continue to fight,
and I love this shot. That's probably the best shot in the trailer to me. And that's interesting, of course. I love the blending of the themes. That's actually very cool to me. And December. And this ad for the Force for Change thing is hilarious, with Mark Hamill just looking really mad. I think that's actually very funny, and you should check that video out because it's really funny. He says something that's very funny based on what he did in The Force Awakens, which obviously isn't much, but really good trailer. Having seen it, that having been the third time I saw it, there wasn't too much extra that I noticed. There are a couple of different things in there that definitely stand out. Of course, like some of the main points, of course, we have our main character, and what I was surprised by is the fact that she is like the main character, because when they first did the poster and it's like, here are the characters for the movie, I just thought it would truly be like there was no main character. That's always the case where there is a main character, but because it's Star Wars, that's one of the times where it's like there could easily be no actual main character. It could just be everyone's kind of even, but we have one specific character. We have a female, which in the comics people are getting super mad about the female lead stuff because it's been twice. People are dumb. But we have another female lead, and I think what they're doing with her character, as far as especially the ending scene where it's like, what will she become and stuff like that, that is very exciting because of course it started off as like, oh, the story of the movie is they get the plans for the Death Star, which leads into the original film, and that's how they have the plans for the Death Star to blow it up. It's like, alright, that's simple enough. From the very beginning, I'm still thinking this, I'm pretty sure not every one of these characters is going to survive. Based on my guesses, these are obviously pure assumptions, we're gonna have just a one and done storyline. It's gonna be like these characters, the beginning and end of their stories will be in this film. So some of them will die, and even the ones that live are just gonna live unless they actually put them in like episode 8 or something, and it's like, here's 30 years of makeup, and they still cast them in there. But I thought it was cool. I liked the trailer. It was a lot like The Force Awakens in a good. That's a good thing, where we see tons of really cool moments. Just like here's this, here's that, and it's just like action scene, new planets, which I love that we're getting some new styles of planets. It's like the like my favorite scene with the AT-ATs. It's very cool because, for one, every time I see AT-ATs, if they're not on Hoth, it's amazing to me. It like blows my mind because that's, for the longest time it was just, Empire. So every time I see them anywhere else, I'm just like, that is amazing to see. Even though they did, that's not that special. They fight all over the galaxy. But every time I see it in a movie, it looks super amazing. But I like the fact that we're going to get to see more styles of planets. We do have seemingly our desert planet again. Even in the opening shot, where June is kind of shooting up the stormtroopers or whatever, it seems like it's just another desert planet. The shot with the AT-ATs is a desert planet, but it was almost like it was like they were in an actual mirage, because it's like they were in the desert seeing the sort of mirage oasis jungle section. So I thought that was kind of cool. It was a slight difference to the formula of like the desert planet. So that's pretty cool because we do only get like the same couple of planets, including the current movies. They did some stuff that was a little different because we did get to see like an actual like forest. Well, we've seen that before. It wasn't a forest planet, but it was very green. It wasn't the same sort of forest where they were like giant oak trees, but it was still green planet, and then ice, snow ice planet. We get we have like a lava planet, which is always like the polar opposite from episode 3. So we get like the same couple of planets. We have our desert planets, we have our snow planets. It's like some form of water, because episode 2 had just full water planet instead of it being an ice planet or snow planet. But it's always like the same couple of things. So it's nice to get like at least a blend of the two, maybe something like that. But I think the locations look pretty cool. The action that they showed was very minimal. Here's a cool shot, here's a cool shot, some stuff happening. Donnie Yen hit a stormtrooper. I don't know how he's supposed to survive, and I hope it comes out really well done, because I would hate for it to be a scene like every other action movie where it's like 4 people with guns. In this case, they have blasters, but 4 people who can shoot somebody, and then they stand around fighting one at a time. I really hope it doesn't end up being that sort of scene. And who knows, maybe that's where he dies. That could be his scene where he dies, and they give him like a cool couple of minutes to hit somebody, but he ends up being killed. So I don't want him to die, especially because I know the actor Donnie Yen, who is a really great martial artist, which has me very excited. I know a lot of people might not know who Donnie Yen is because he's not as famous as like Bruce Lee or Jackie Chan or Jet Li, but for anyone who may have seen or at least heard of the Ip Man movies, that's Donnie Yen. I don't know why those movies got so randomly popular here, but they did. And that was Donnie Yen. So I think a lot more people know about him now than they did before. So that's Donnie Yen, if you ever saw or at least heard of those movies. He's been in a million other things that you've definitely never heard of because they never really came to America. But he's a great martial artist. I really love his stuff. So I'm excited to see him. I remember when I first saw the poster, I was like, that's Donnie Yen in the Star Wars movie. So I hope we get some awesome martial arts stuff. For anyone who didn't know, in The Force Awakens, they had the people from the raid. So if some of you may or may not have seen that, I forgot the name of that group, but they're like the second group that goes after Han. And they were like actually speaking their own language, I do believe. So those guys were the guys from the raid. But we have, a martial arts actor in this, and he's going to do martial arts. He had the bow staff and stuff, so I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully we get to see a lot of it. I'm excited to see what else we get from the universe as far as this. Like, are we going to get cameos? We're supposed to have young Han Solo. I haven't heard any news lately about, where that's going, but they were in like, a really big rush. Like, we need to get our young Han Solo so that they can kind of put him in the movie and have a little cameo. So hopefully that pans out for them. I'm sure it will, because it's Star Wars. They are going to get people who want to act in Star Wars. It's Star Wars. So we might. I don't know if they'll do that or not. If they'll show a trailer where we see young Han Solo, but once we know who the actor is, I guess it won't matter. Seeing him in the costume won't be any difference. Like either he'll be young Han Solo or he won't. But we'll see how that plays out if they put it in the trailer or not. The characters, we don't get too much info out of them, just like our main character. And what I mentioned with the ending scene and how that changes certain stuff. I love that idea that kind of she could go from being a rebel to being a part of the Empire, and I think it changes the idea of Rogue One, because it was just that's the team is Rogue One Squadron or something like that, but now it has multiple meanings, and obviously it's a trailer, so that could easily just be a random scene where she's in disguise, and most likely that's what it is. But considering they made the trailer this way, I'm hoping that it's actually a part of the story and they aren't doing what I like to call TV promo syndrome, which is they show like all this stuff and then the episode has nothing to do with that. The promo has nothing to do with what's actually in the episode. So I'm hoping that's not what they have, even though it would be just that one scene. I'm hoping it's not like that, because that kind of changes my idea of what the movie's going to end up being like, because I really thought it was cut and dry. Here's your mission. Get Death Star plans, return Death Star plans, and technically they clearly succeed because of the first movie. So hopefully it does actually change a couple little elements in there. Who knows if any of these characters are going to be Force users or not. I haven't looked up any information because I don't want to know anything about this movie outside of the trailers, to be totally honest. But I'm definitely looking forward to it. I like the action scenes. I like the glimpses of what we got. The story elements are cool. Also, even with the theme at the end of the trailer, they kind of suggest that it is going to be a character battling whether or not they want to be a hero or a villain. Work with the good guys or work with the bad guys, and that's because they blend Vader's theme with I don't know I don't know if it's officially Luke's theme, but it's the theme from the original movie where he's looking out in the desert and stuff. So they blend those themes together, and that has to be like the perfect symbolism as to a character struggling between both good and evil, if you have Luke's theme and Vader's theme. So love that at the ending. It sounded very cool as well. I never thought that blending those themes would even I never even considered that before, but it sounded really good, and I'm excited for this story. We have at least one character for sure coming back, and that's Mon Mothma. And I mentioned before, when I first saw the trailer, I was just so in the moment that she looked just like the actress from the original trilogy, or at least the first film, that my initial reaction was, man, I don't know if that's the same actress or not, which made no sense whatsoever. But that's what happened when I first saw that. I was like, I don't know if that's the same actress or not, but it looks like it. But that was funny because that made no sense whatsoever. She's 80 years old, so that was just a dumb moment. That's how nerdy it was. Like, wow, they look so similar. I'm just thinking it's going to end up being the same person, as if they actually went back in time and was like, hey, we have another Star Wars movie to film. But the actress does look just like her to me. I was like, man, they look so much alike. It's crazy. So that's pretty awesome. She's going to actually be in an important role. I would assume she's going to be kind of like the commander in this film, at least. So looking forward to that. The villain that they show off is probably my favorite element, because with the extended universe being, deemed as legends or whatever they're calling it now, there are certain elements that they still took from that to put in The Force Awakens. The fact that Ben is, at least one of the children is a thing. They just switched the name around because that's, Luke named his child Ben in the comic book, so they changed that around for the movie. And they're just different elements, and the idea that Han and Leia's child is going to turn to the dark side, stuff like that is within the comics. Like they blended some stuff and moved some things around. And I think what they're doing with this villain is using a character that technically appears after the original trilogy. And I don't remember his name. He was either an admiral or a general or something like that. But he takes over as basically, he becomes like the face of the Empire. He's like this amazing tactician. And he starts wiping everybody out. He kind of picks up the Empire After the stuff with the Death Star, the second Death Star, he kind of picks up where they left off, and he starts destroying everything. And he's an alien, so he's like full blue. So I feel like that's kind of sucky change if it's not the character. But that could also be to kind of throw people off, so we don't know officially whether or not it's the character. But that character is very well loved. I didn't read those stories of that character, but he's very well known in the extended universe. I just know of the stories and that the character is very well respected within the Empire because he's such a great tactician. And just the style of the character that they had for this trailer looked a lot like him to me. Just, it's a single character standing by himself. The outfit is also different because in the story, the pictures I've seen and stuff, aside from him obviously being just a full-on blue alien, he is, it was like a black and red outfit. So in this, they have him in like sort of the beige outfit and stuff, and he has like the cape. But it seems just that style with him being a character who's by himself, could do whatever he needs to do on his own. It just seems like they might be at least inspired by that character from the comic books. And like I said, I don't remember his name. I don't even know his name. I've heard it, but I don't remember it. But it just seemed that way. It's like, okay, we have this solo character who seemingly isn't a Sith user. He's not a rogue, so he can't be a Sith or a Jedi. That tends to be the rules for the movies. So I just feel like he might be inspired by that comic character. We did get a very quick glimpse of someone in a black robe. So there's some Sith in this movie. I don't know who that is or what that means. And then there's like a tube, and I'm assuming someone like cryogenically frozen inside the tube. So there's some stuff going on with an actual Sith user in this. I don't know if that means we'll also be getting a Jedi in this film, but I can't wait to see what they do. I'm very curious how they're going to tie this into the current trilogy. Obviously it has its tie-ins with them getting the plans to the Death Star for the original trilogy, but I want to know if any of these characters will transition into, even if it's just story based, how they'll transition into the main trilogy. And I'm very excited for this. I'm glad it's coming out this December. They've been working on it for a while. It seems like they've got quite a bit of stuff done. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. We have a running droid in this, which we haven't had since the prequels, which probably isn't the best thing to bring up. But we have a running droid, which I assume will be pretty cool. I don't know why I instantly assumed this, but the fact that it runs, for some reason, makes me think it'll be a bit of a hardcore droid. Like, it'll actually be able to fight and stuff. Don't know why that comes to mind just because I saw it running, but it does. I think it'll actually be in some fights, which I don't know if that'll be cool or bad, because it's clearly CG in the trailer, and it has to be CG because it's like a very skinny droid with like really thin arms, so it has to be CG the whole time. So I don't know if they're gonna go with the droid that actually ends up in any of the fight scenes, but I think that would be cool. We don't really get that in Star Wars. We had it in the prequels, which once again, so who knows? But I enjoyed this trailer. I'm definitely excited for the movie. It didn't matter if the trailer sucked, that would have sucked, but it wouldn't have stopped me from seeing Star Wars because it's Star Wars. But definitely looking forward to this one. Of course, I want to know what you guys thought about this trailer, so please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts about it, your least favorite parts about it. I definitely want to know if sort of the ending segment of this trailer changes your concept of the story for this film. Because like I said, for me, I thought it was just cut and dry. Get these plans, they get the plans. Some people have to die in the middle because it's just kind of a one-shot story, seemingly. So that's what I thought, and now it's this whole idea of someone being transitioning from being good to evil. She already started off, she's like getting arrested, and it's like real life charges, which is the weirdest thing to me. They said some stuff, it's like tampering with empirical evidence. Clearly, I'm guessing based on that, that's a different scene. Like they have a different scene playing auditorially, and they're visually showing us something totally different because she was clearly on a rebel base, but it was like they're reading charges. Like, who cares if she's tampering with stuff from the Empire? Like, they're the rebels, so I don't know, that seemed weird that they even brought that up. But I guess they're kind of just going over the charges, like you're the that character that's always like you're the wild card, and they read off all your charges. So that might be that. But I want to know if kind of the ending segment of this trailer changes your ideas of where the story might be going, what it might even lead to, depending on how important this story really is to the rest of the Star Wars universe with their whole new canon and all that stuff. So definitely want to know your speculations for it, and obviously what you thought about the trailer in general. So please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.